Hey, what's up, turtles? It's Krik here with Black Outdoors. Today I'm going to be doing a video showing how to tie the figure 8 knot and actually how to use the knot in a bite, which could be important depending what you want to do with the knot. And this knot has a lot of uses and applications. For one, because it's used in climbing and climbers use it all the time with their belaying. I've only belayed once, but this was a knot I needed to know. I've learned it, I've ingrained it. So if it works for climbers and they use it and trust their lives on it, you can kind of assume it's going to be a pretty strong knot, and you can use it with a lot of applications. But I'm going to start showing it in the bite at first because I think it'll show sort of the principles of the knot, and then I'll do it the second way, which might be a little bit more in depth, but hopefully in the bite will show a little bit more of the principle of the knot. And in a bite means if I want to actually put this, say, in the middle of a piece of cordage. I don't have either end to work with. I want to put it in the middle of a piece of cordage. That's what I'm calling a bite right now. Maybe I didn't describe it to its full, definition, but that's a bite. So to start doing that, I have here sort of the middle of the piece of cordage. It doesn't have to be the middle, but just for the sake, I'm going to call it that. This loop here, so there's no end of the piece of cordage. I'm going to take this, and this is sort of going to be my end I'm holding on to. I'm going to create another loop up here while keeping this sort of clean. It's very important to keep your cordage clean when you're doing a knot or a hitch, because that's really where the strength comes from. Then it makes it a little bit easier as you tighten it for the strength, just to keep it clean as you're doing it, and just to do it slow when you're learning it. So I have here the end. I'm going to go around what's hanging, go around the whole way, come back to the front of it, and then go up through what I'm holding, this little loop I'm holding with my left hand, and then pull that through. As I'm pulling it, I'm going to try to keep it clean. Anything once I get out of its place, I'm going to do it now before I get it down and tight. That's the figure 8 knot. See what the front looks like, and see what the back looks like. And it's very important to me to understand why something is strong or why it works for a given application. I'm not going to say you don't need to really learn ever how to tie a knot or a hitch, because it's not true. You do need to. But the principles are very important. Potentially, if I get into a bad situation, my mind's flustered, I can't think of the little trick I remembered when I was learning it, I can't think of it, but if I remember the principles of why it worked, I think it's the most important thing to understanding, why a hitch or a knot works. And pretty much any skill I learn, I want to know why it works, not just that it works and it does work, if I use it, but why it works. I'm going to do this again really quick. I have it in the bite here. I want to do it in the bite. Got this loop I'm holding here. I'm going to take it down, go around what's hanging, come back to the front, and then pull up through the loop I'm holding, and pull it tight slowly, making sure all these pieces of cordage are in their designated place that I want them. I'm going to flip that, make it cleaner. And then once I know it's clean, then I can tighten it down on itself. And that's a pretty clean looking knot, if I do say so myself. No humps, all this is resting where it needs to. And then here I have this loop, and then I could hang something from this potentially. This knot's not going to give way. Like I said, climbers use it to trust their body weight with it, trust their lives. I can use this to hang, whatever I need to. I could potentially make this as a handhold if I'm walking, using this for whatever. Has a lot of different uses. But that's the figure 8 in a bite. Oops. And now I'm going to show you, the application I've learned it and used it, which is climbing and belaying. And I'm not a climber, I've only done it once, but this was a knot I needed to learn for it. And just in general, I think it's a really cool knot because it's really strong. We're going to pretend this is a closed loop. If I can't do it in a bite, if I did it in a bite, I could just clip this to it like I did before. We're going to pretend this is closed and I can't open this up. So how am I going to do the knot now? Well, it's the same principle as I did before, except this time I'm using a piece of cordage, my working end. I'm going to make a loop here. I'm going to go around behind it, come back to the front, pull this up as I'm doing it to give myself all this working end, and then pull through, and it creates this on the line. And that's the first step into doing the knot. I'm going to do that one more time before I get into finishing the knot. Have my piece of cordage here, my working end of my hand over here, my right hand. I'm going to go around the loop, around the piece of cordage that's hanging, come the whole way back to the front, and put this through the loop I'm holding with my left hand. This is the first step in doing that knot, and this is what it looks like here. This is the important part. Alright, now that I have that, I'm going to take this end here, and I'm going to put this through what I want to fasten this piece of cordage to using this knot. Now to finish this knot, as I'm here, you're like, well, how am I going to do this? Why is this here? I don't understand. Basically, to finish this, I'm going to take this piece of end and just trace the shape of this to complete the knot. I'm going to open this up just a little bit, give myself a little more room to work with. Take my end here. I'm just going to trace the way, I'm going to start here and just trace it. Follow it, if you will, parallel it. This piece of cordage comes down here, pull it out tight. It's coming over top here, wrapping around. Open that up. It's coming up through this way. And then the last part, it's coming back around all of it and then going through the middle. Making sure it's clean before I get it tight. Make sure the pieces of cordage are where I want them, and I can tighten it up, make it a little cleaner. And that's the figure 8. Pretty simple, right? Simple but effective. Hope this was helpful. Any more questions you have, let me know. Leave a comment, all that stuff. This is Krik signing out with Black Outdoors. Later, turtles.